The story starts off in the halls. Yu, the prettiest girl in class, walks past Meihara with her entourage, Umi. And Umi, the second prettiest girl, looks at Meihara, and when he checks his phone, he sees a chat from Umi, as they have a secret friendship. On the first day, the first year's homeroom teacher, Miki, introduces herself. She then hands out papers and mentions that she wants to get to know them, asking them to write about themselves. And after collecting the papers back, Miki randomly picks a sheet and Meihara is chosen. He stands up nervously and proceeds to talk about himself. So Miki asks if he has any hobbies. So Meihara mentions that he loves gaming, as he always plays with some pizza and cola on standby. Miki then asks him if he likes movies. So Meihara says that he likes shark and alligator movies, which catches Umi's reaction. Next is Yu, and unlike Meihara, she stands up with so much energy, and Miki asks about the unique color of her hair. So Miki tells everyone that her grandma is a foreigner, so she just inherited it from her. Miki sees that Yu is from an all-girls school and asks why she came here. So Yu says she just wanted to try the co-ed school experience. She hugs Umi and mentions that they are best friends from middle school, encouraging her to go next. So Umi gets up and introduces herself, mentioning once again that her and Yu went to the same school. She's surprised that she ended up in the same school, and because of this, she hopes that everyone can look after her in her place. Yu then complains as Umi is making her look like an abandoned dog. Meihara finds their dynamic interesting and overhears the other guys talking about how they hit the jackpot with pretty girls, knowing that the class is going to revolve around those two. However, that's got nothing to do with him. It's lunchtime and Meihara enjoys his food in isolation, while the girls look to be settling well. As the days go by, the girls quickly settle in. However, Meihara spends his days gaming and eating junk. School ends the next day, and Meihara thinks about how he's used to being alone. However, that doesn't mean he liked being alone. He'd much rather prefer to have buddies and go out together. The week finally comes to an end, and Meihara, while scrolling on TikTok, overhears the guys comparing Yu and Umi. Meanwhile, Yu suggests to Umi that they hang out after school, but Umi tells her that she can't, as there's a movie that she's been itching to watch. Yu asks Umi what genre is it she wants to watch, suggesting she could tag along. However, when Umi sees the movie, she quickly loses interest, but immediately tries to hide her reaction. Umi already expected that reaction, so decides to just watch it alone. And as they pass by, Meihara sees the movie on Umi's screen. And as he walks to the video store, he thinks about how Umi's taste in movies is good. He arrives and looks through a few movies to watch, but when he reaches for one, he accidentally bumps hands with someone else and is quick to apologize. But when he looks up, he sees that it's Umi, and Umi notes that this is their first time talking together. But Meihara is nervous and brings up that she previously said she had plans, so Umi teases him for listening to their conversations. Meihara apologizes. However, Umi comments that it's fine, as they were being loud anyway, apologizing on her friend's behalf, but Meihara still notes that he shouldn't have listened, despite that Umi reveals that her real goal was to talk to Meihara. She then shows him her class profile, and Meihara is surprised that everything she wrote that she likes are the same as his. Umi then asks Meihara what movie he'll recommend to her, so Meihara decides to pick his go-to. Umi then laughs at the cover, finding the shrinking piranhas funny. They continue to talk, and Umi mentions that this movie reminds her of Kung Fu Shark, and Meihara is surprised she knows ball. And that's how the friendship started. We're back in the present, and Umi visits Meihara's home. And as she settles, she asks Meihara what food he ordered, and coincidentally, they both recite the same food and toppings in order. The food finally arrives, and they decide to play some Battlefield PvP game. And Umi is confident that she'll smoke him. However, Meihara mentions that she's lost 10 times to him already this week. But Umi says she's trained since then and will beat him this time. They game and game for a while, and unfortunately, Umi comes out as the loser. Umi then suggests they play another game, but as time passes, they decide to call it a night. Meihara cleans up and Umi offers to help, but Meihara tells her it's fine. And upon saying that, he notices Umi arching her back and stares a bit, and Umi catches him in the act. But Meihara quickly tells her that he was wondering how she stays so slim when she eats like him. So she tells him that she exercises and teases him for being plump, pressing his stomach and causing him to let out a weird noise. This reaction intrigues her, so she grabs him and starts tickling his weak points. Before leaving, Umi mentions that this is only their third meetup, but they get along so well. And Meihara notes that even though they have the same tastes, he finds her weird for actually talking to him. So Umi hits back by calling him the weird one for inviting a girl home right off the bat. So Meihara defends himself, saying that playing games was the only thing that came to mind. So Umi suggests they go out next week, and he agrees at first, but then he storms out and asks her what exactly she means. So Umi tells him that they can't just stay in every time, as they're young high schoolers, so they should live life to the fullest, suggesting places like an arcade, food shop, or shopping, noting that she feels bad for always hanging out at his house and intruding, so she'll just teach him to have some fun outside instead. That's when Meihara confirms if it'll be just the two of them, and Umi casually tells him it will, as they haven't told anyone in class that they hang out. That's when we're told that they agreed on this, as if the others find out, there'll be a lot of chatter and gossip. Meihara remains lost in thought, so Umi reassures him that she'll make sure that no one in class finds out about them. But Meihara is still skeptical. Umi starts to head out, and adds that if someone finds out, they can just say that they're dating, leaving Meihara flushed as he says that they aren't. Umi laughs as she walks away, noting that she was only kidding. That night, Meihara's mom walks in and is in disbelief as he tells her that he will be going out with a friend, adding that he'll need more money. But she freaks as she thinks that Meihara is being bullied for some money. However, Meihara tells her that it's actually a friend, so she asks if it's an imaginary one. And when he tells her it isn't, she floats with joy and immediately gives him more money, telling him to ask if he needs more. The next day, Meihara overhears the girls in class as Umi apologizes for missing the series they watched last night, telling them that she was looking for something online. However, she sends codes to Meihara, as she actually spent her time with him. Later that day, while Meihara eats lunch alone, he hears Umi's voice, and when he peeks out, he sees that a guy is about to confess to Umi, as it's not his business. Meihara tries to pack to leave, but as he does so, the other girls come out and Yu notices him. They then ask if Meihara can let them through as they want to spy on the confession. They end up pulling him out, and as we all expected, he confesses to her.